It's been a while since I did more chill sit-down videos, so it's very nice to do that again and to break a bit the routine of slightly more demanding videos as part of creative hygiene, because I can easily get into more automatic and perfectionist mode. So the reason I wanted to have a chat about creativity is because my view of it has drastically changed now as I've grown and have started creating content and all. Because yeah, as a kid, since I really loved science, math and all those much more logic and analytical oriented activities, and then when there would be more artistic activities, well, I wouldn't be overflowing with ideas of what to draw, etc. And also, well, when I would see some of my more artistic friends' drawings, which would be like absolutely amazing and beautiful, I kind of thought that, yeah, creativity was more something that you're born with, that either you have it or you don't, and that I was the analytical type instead, just how it is. Well, I'm the math science girly, and then there's artistic people, and it's two distinct things. And yeah, that way of thinking, that belief actually stuck around for a while. And the turning point was last summer after my bachelor's degree. After a bit of a burnout, I really had this yearn to reconnect with my inner child more, and so I wanted to just pick up some coloring pens and yeah, draw and just have fun coloring without worrying about how it looks. And I have all the drawings in here. All of these pages, they're now just filled with lots of colors, lots just free drawing. And at that moment, there was something that clicked to me, that when I don't worry about the result, actually I have quite a lot of ideas that come up, and some of them are much simpler and just messy and not so beautiful per se. But then also amongst them there are other ones that I really like and that would have never popped up if I had never given myself the chance to explore and have fun, no pressure. So yeah, that experience really shifted my view on creativity and really broadened my definition of it. And yeah, and realized that as humans, that it's kind of our inherent gift, creativity, because of our capacity to imagine and craft all the things we want, as long as we don't block ourselves. It's only ourselves limiting beliefs that can block that flow, both from that experience and just in general becoming more and more mindful about my thinking patterns and so on. I realized that there are so many little blockages and walls that I could create for not adventuring myself into creativity. One of them being perfectionism and not wanting to try out something before having 100% clear vision of it. But yeah, both the drawing and the content creation has made me come face to face with, well, the fact that it's quite hard and rare to just come up with a perfectly clear image in your head and then executing it, instead of having a couple ideas that you can hold on to and start with, and then just sit down, let the ball rolling, and let the process build up on whatever project. As an example, for most of my videos, especially the more vlog types, well, I do not have a clear vision at all before it of what the video will look like. I just have an idea of something I want to share, and then I just capture lots of footage, knowing that I won't use everything, but just giving myself the chance to have a lot of material to work with and experiment with, and then I just sit down, and when going through it, trimming and selecting clips, then slowly the ideas pop up of what I can put together, how I can structure it, and so on. So it's a lot about just trusting the process and oneself. Another big blockage, and I guess the main one, is fear of judgment, and perfectionism, I guess, stems from it, because we've been often conditioned to always do our best and only produce good things, to not be outcasted and so on. But those are just evolutionary remnants of tribal times where getting exiled meant that survival was at stake. But nowadays, not only do these things not impact our survival in any way, I guess we've been quite a bit conditioned to fear failure, to not want to have a bad grade and so on, when in reality it's such a beautiful part of the process. In other words, even though there are a lot of psychological reasons behind this fear, well, it doesn't make those fears true in any way. And for example, in the case of the not as beautiful drawings, well, it doesn't mean that they didn't serve their purpose, not only because they helped that just have the creative juices flowing and therefore allow the birth of the drawings that I do very much like result-wise, but also that it's just the process itself is fulfilling already. Just this relaxation, this letting go, this playing, the experimenting, that's what I've come to value more than the result. And I guess it is that first practice of valuing more the process and creation instead of subsiding to fear is what allowed me to go a step further and to create things that are destined to be viewed by others. Even though, especially at the beginning, some fear was very much still there, well, it's that awareness and that mindfulness that could really make me surpass it. And it's only now with much more practice that the fears are subsiding, and also the proof that everything is alright even if I vulnerably share and create, because a lot of people are nice. Although fear of judgment is completely normal and just kind of inbuilt in us, it's such a beautiful practice to overcome it bit by bit and let things that we value more and that nourish us take over. Another source of blockage that I can experience from time to time is when scrolling too much, when having a screen overload. Although I won't bash it because there's also so much beauty in it, and it also gives me quite a lot of inspiration, like broadens my view and so on. But especially short form content is built on just getting us hooked, and then this information overload and like constant consumption just inevitably leads to more brain fog and disconnects us from our mindfulness and awareness. And often, after I have an episode of scrolling, like right after those moments, I don't want to do anything. I don't feel great. So I definitely want to build a better awareness and relationship with social media and take the better care of my internal world, since ultimately all aspects of our lives are connected. Not feeling as good in our body hinders also our mental well-being and therefore our creativity, because all in all, creativity is about mindfulness, relaxing into our body to be able to hear those little whispers of ideas, and about just love towards oneself and to be comfortable exploring and not be afraid of failing, not viewing it as an enemy or a problem. It's all in all a process of letting go, of allowing the ideas to flow and flourish. And although when I was younger, I was much more disciplined than I am now, like especially health-wise and so on, but it was rooted in perfectionism and anxiousness, and therefore, it was just very rigid. And this more fear-based discipline and, attitudes towards myself, made me much more rigid and didn't allow creativity to flourish. And when that fearful discipline became too much for me, a bit as a counter reaction to it, this year was a softer year, much less discipline, much more going with the flow, doing whatever I want. But now with, for example, the screen consumption, I see that discipline has very much its place in well-being and also creativity, but a discipline that's much softer and love-based, that's based on genuine care for oneself instead of pressuring ourselves into fitting a standard. That soft discipline is something that I would really like to cultivate in this coming year then. So that's about it for the new perspectives on creativity that I have developed this year. And it has truly brought me so much joy, and I'm very excited to keep tapping into it whilst as a supportive tool developing a soft discipline and mindfulness. And I can only encourage all the people that, as I once did, believe creativity is not their thing, to tap into it by, on the one hand, bringing mindfulness to those limiting thoughts, and also opening the horizons to the definition of it, and which includes the definition of a creative medium, and going for the one that calls you. Like, it can be absolutely anything from baking, journaling, dancing, crafting, upcycling, playing, coloring. So all in all, tapping into creativity has been a reconnection to my inner child, and I hope to see more and more people freeing themselves in that way. And I can't wait to share more about this ultimate journey of mine, because I have a lot of ideas for upcoming videos. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in and for being your unique self and your unique expression of creation. Bye! I love you!